So let me give you a little background. He's now 85, but when we started, he was 84, and it was last February. And a little bit of background of him: he's a widower, and my mom passed away about 23 years ago. So he's been alone for quite some time. He lives about a half hour away from me. Sorry, I use my hands a lot. And he's driving. He's okay like that way, but he was declining rapidly. And when before my mom died 20 something years ago, my mom did do stem cell therapy, not obviously the life wave. And it did improve her life for quite some time. But again, that was like a one-time deal. And then unfortunately she passed. So fast forward now, my dad is 84, living alone. He had, I'm trying to get this all right. He was using a walker. So he had no balance. He was falling all the time. He was on 12 medications. He was disoriented all the time, no energy, very high blood pressure. I can't remember any time in his life that I can remember that he didn't have high blood pressure. He had many strokes. He had cirrhosis of the liver, diabetes, the beginning of Parkinson's. He had a lot of skin problems like dry skin and bruising, very depressed. So I just said to myself, this was like a pivotal moment in my life. And, I was a little anxious because I just have a life change. All my children are grown now and out of the house. So I'm on a different journey. And I'm like, okay, wait, fast stop the bus here, because now I have to include him and just start a whole nother chapter. So I was like, and my dad, if you know him, he's extremely social. He has a lot of friends. He's not like in this house, curled up. He wants to hang out with me and my friends. So he's very active. So this really set him back. So I talked to him. I talked to his chiropractor actually, because we were concerned about the falling. Maybe he wasn't in balance, whatever. So he started and I looking into the medications. That's where we started. We started looking at his medications, and lo and behold, 12 of them all interacted poorly with each other. A lot of the recommendations were not to use those at the same time. So we took a deep breath, and I was looking around for different natural ways to help him. And I was at a family party, and my aunt, who's a retired nurse, well, she's aunt, not on my side of the family, so it's through marriage. So I don't see her that often. And I was telling her about my dad, and she was like, listen, I could tell you something about this new technology. And she explained Life Wave. And she showed me examples of the people in her household that I was actually at the party with. And I was blown away because they were all in their 70s. So I was like, okay, why not? Right? There's no side effects. It can't hurt him. So I approached my dad and I explained it to him the best I could. And I said, let's do this. We'll do it together. And he's like, okay. And he's very open-minded. So I didn't have a struggle with him. As you could tell, someone asked him to take 12 medications and he said, okay. So he's just like, if you think this is going to help me, let's try it. It can't hurt me. But in the meantime, he was very frustrated with the medications because he was having also like, he had terrible stomach issues, like almost like irritable bowel syndrome. He had like reflux. So he had a lot going on. So I said, well, why don't we start weaning you off of some of these medications, because you don't need 4 blood pressures. Let's be real here. So he was all on board. We did that properly over a few weeks, months time. But while we were doing that, we started patching him. So February, he was 84 of last year. 1 month in, Alicia has pictures she'll put up. He was like a whole different person. By month 5, I didn't even recognize him. I cannot see him here. Okay, so before patching, he was bloated. He was just not there. You could see he glazed in his face. 1 month in, he's all happy. That was, I think, at St. Patrick's Day party that he went to. And then 5 months in, there he is.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is such a huge difference, Debbie. Look how happy he looks, and his skin is different. I mean, it looks at weight loss, inflammation, like just
Everything.
his hair looks thicker. I mean, my goodness, there's so many differences. I mean, I know you noticed them as well.
And he, at 1 month in, see his face there, like you could tell he looked aged. And he said to me, Debbie, if I can stay like this for the rest of the time I have to be on this earth, I'm happy, because I don't worry about anything anymore. I wake up and have a great day. Now, 5 months in, he is literally, that's a summer picture. He is on the beach diving into waves. Like this man came back to life how I remember him as a child.
That's so
And
awesome.
again, he only started with X39 and Eon. Now, now it's 1 year later. Now he's 85. So we do extensive blood work on him because we want to see all the, amazing results. And he has no evidence of any of the things I just described to you. The doctors are like, because we didn't tell the doctors at first. My father's kind of a jokester too. So he was like, let's not tell anybody because I don't want to hear their opinions anymore. So I'm like, all right, whatever, it's your life. So now they say, what did you do? And he told them, and they're like, you're kidding me. And some of them were like, oh, that's ridiculous. But he's like, well, that's my life and I'm happy. So he's never had better blood pressure in his life. I think it's like 130 or something crazy. I'm not really good at blood pressure, but it's excellent. All his blood work just came back perfect. I mean, I can't say enough about this patch. And now he shares it with everybody. And he's so happy and so excited. But we did add stuff because he felt so good. He didn't want to stop. So he does X39 Eon, he does carnosine and glutathione. He does have silent nights, but he doesn't need them. He never did. He sleeps through the night and he doesn't get up to go to the bathroom like he used to 3 times a night. He says to me the other day, I go, did you get up to go to the bathroom? And he said, well, I did. I go, what time? He goes, 7 o'clock. I go, that's not night. That's the middle of the day. That's the morning. That's when you're supposed to wake up. So he's like, oh, okay. Well, then I said, I slept through the night. Great. And now because he feels so good, we have a new doctor and she's a naturopathic doctor and he's eating his fruits and vegetables now that he didn't do. So he's cooking better for himself. It's like a whole new person. I can't thank my aunt and Alicia. I cannot thank you enough, honestly.